magic of the internet and all the little tools that we have. So, some Thursday thoughts. That's what I titled it. I have to make the title before I go live, so you never know what you're going to get into. So I figure Thursday thoughts. That's what it is. I could have used a catchy title like, what is it? What the government's going to do next, and take, that, or I found the secret of what happens in the next 6 months. Some catchy title that clickbaits you in. I'm not going to do that. It's going to be some Thursday thoughts from Westwood, and that's it. Start off. I should do a cigar review every time. Try to find one that doesn't go out because I talk so much. Now this one is a now I cough. This one is a I don't even know what it is. It's one I never usually smoke. It's a Monte Cristo crafted by AJ Fernandez. That's what it is. All right, howdy. I missed it. Who was there? So yeah, that's what this is. It's a decent cigar. It's not my favorite flavor. A lot of people like these, but it is what it is. Yesterday I talked about the White House earning its name, the White House. How there was cocaine found in there, and that was the big thing. The press conference. I can't remember her name. Jean-Pierre, blah blah. The gal that does the press conferences for the Biden regime. She was asked pointedly by many reporters, which I'm surprised that there was such a big deal. So that tells me something. All right, so they're asking about this cocaine. Hey, where was it? How could it be there? Could it have been from a staffer? Could it have been this? What was the procedure? And asking her all kinds of questions. And all she does, she said, hey, what's up, Paulie P? All she says is, hey, we're gonna delegate that, or what was the word she used? We're gonna leave that to the Secret Service, and they're going to investigate. That's their job, and we're not gonna mess around with it and get involved. The obvious thing is what most people think. When you hear, hey, there's been cocaine found in the White House, everybody thinks Hunter. Obviously. But I don't know. It could be something, since the press is all over this thing. It could be. We'll see if it goes away. I guess that's the key. If it just disappears and nobody talks about it after today, tomorrow, then okay, is what it is. But it makes me think, is it possible that somebody's trying to sabotage this presidency, this White House? There you go, Trump did it. It's kind of where I'm going. Not necessarily that he did that, but it's almost like I wouldn't be surprised if someone on his own team, his own side, in his own party, might be trying to sabotage this guy's presidency and make it fall apart, because I don't think they want Biden for another term. But if you've got an incumbent in the White House, how do you say that he's not our guy? It's hard to say that because you're already in power. So, as a party, you have to kind of stand by your man. But I think they know there's no way the guy's incompetent. Absolutely ridiculously incompetent. So if you're on that team, or I should say on that ship, and he's the captain, boy, that's a scary ship to be on, because that thing's sinking. So it may be his own party trying to sabotage him. I don't know. And you see the video footage on the 4th of July, the Independence Day celebration from the deck of the White House. Yeah, it's a movie, definitely a movie. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. But just look at the actions. I mean, there's a lot of video out there from, you've got Hunter in the background doing this and sweating and obviously, geeking out, while the celebration, the fireworks are going off, and, talking to, I don't know if it was his wife or what, and then he walks away and he's touching his nose. And I mean, it's just like, whoa, what's going on here? And then Jill Biden, it's almost like she's, like, here we go again, trying to maintain the poker face. And Joe's like standing there watching it, half grinning. I mean, because it's probably normal behavior. I mean, that's kind of the sense I got. Make of it what you will, but if you really look at it, looks kind of bad. It's a bad look. Independence Day, and you got this guy sweating and bugging out, right there on the big deck. So we'll see. I don't know what it means, but it almost seems like, I don't think they want Biden in there. I mean, and that's my feeling. I mean, they want the rock star, the guy that's presidential and looks presidential, even though he does nothing but destroy his state of California. I think they want a guy like Gavin Newsom in there, someone who's flashy, who can speak well and resonate when, mobilize the troops and all this BS. So Biden's probably going to have to get sick and retire, resign, something. Who knows what'll happen to him? Or he could resign and Kamala's vice president becomes president for a time, and that's the end of that. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. They're not going to let RFK win. They do not want him to give him the ticket. They don't even want to give him a voice. Don't want him in the debates. So they've got another chosen one that's an establishment player that'll continue to take over the crime syndicate because that's what they want. They want a guy that's going to play ball in there. So I think Gavin Newsom's the most obvious choice at this point. You know, and he's playing the game. Oh, support Joe Biden. Oh, he's a team player. Oh, it's sad what happened to President Biden. Oh, it's sad, you know, what he was going through. And I guess I'll reluctantly step in and take the mantle. So we'll see. But it's almost like it's a destruction by design for that presidency. And we see Janet Yellen making kind of an emergency trip. You know, they're not calling it that, but it's kind of a hasty trip over to China. Almost said Japan. To China to have some talks. I mean, this reminds me so much of 2008, 2007, 2008. We had a lot of things crashing at the beginning, kind of really in 2007, things started to fall apart, but they papered it over and they kept it going. 2008, around March, you had some things blow up, and not until September, September of 2008, did you see everything just fall apart. You know, they papered it over, pushed the cart down the road as far as they could, and then the whole thing, just the wheels came off. I kind of get that sense that that's what's happening now. We're kind of repeating that. I get that same vibe. We had the same things happening with the banks, with some of the crypto exchanges this go around back in 2022 and March of almost mirroring the same day of 2023. We've had some collapses. And I don't know, man. September's always a big month for them. They like to pull stuff in September and October. So I'd be prepared at this point. We are in the second half of the year now. And, you know, I don't care what you say, you know, they look at seasons. I mean, and there's that subconscious level to where, okay, we had our longest day of the year, the summer solstice, and now every day is getting shorter and shorter until we get into September. I think it's September 23rd where we have the fall equinox. And then at that point, you know, the days are equal, daylight, dark. And then at that point, it gets darker all the way into the winter solstice. They like to pull stuff after that point, I think. In the time of darkness. For whatever reason, believe it if you want to, but they practice these things. I mean, the people, they've got their own little cult religion, and they follow certain signs, I guess you could say. It's important to them, so pay attention because they're the ones that are, you know, pulling the pins. So I don't know, September, I'd be weary. I'd be getting the things you need now. And again, I don't want to be fear-mongering. You should be doing this anyway. You know, if you've got the opportunity to get things that you know you need going forward, you should get them. You know, just get them. And quit waiting for, you know, it's like that person who's waiting for retirement to spend all his retirement. And then, you know, he's not living day to day. It's just living for that moment when, oh, I can retire and I'll have all this money and I'll be able to do everything I want. Well, you should be doing that now at whatever level that you can. You know, you should be living for today, in the moment, and preparing for the future. Always preparing, but not to the extent that you're not alive. So I think that's important. So get the things that you need, always. You know, always have them, and start making it kind of a daily practice. If you know you're going to need gasoline for mowers, like I do, I get a little gasoline, a little extra, and have it set aside. You know, and have it. Be prepared because it takes about a 55-gallon drum, I guess you could say, or barrel of gasoline. Gets, last year anyway, this year might have a little extra, but if I get that at the beginning in the spring, that lasts the whole year for the mowers, mowing this yard and the yard across the street. So I know I need it. I know I'm going to use it. Why would I be going back and forth to the gas station with a gas can when I can have something deliver and just draw off of that? And you can get a better quality sometimes, you know, without the ethanol. It's better on the smaller engines. So anyway, my point is, if you know you're going to need it, if you know you're going to have to use it, invest in it and then have it here. And then that's one checkbox that you don't have to worry about going forward. You know, you're not at the mercy of fluctuating prices. You kind of lock yourself into, okay, I got this. I can get it right now. And so you get it. Because you never know what's going to happen, especially with the clown show that we've got right now. I saw that, man, I tell you what, I just cannot, I don't know what it is. It's because I don't have it fired up enough before I start. But I was looking at Zero Hedge. That's a pretty good website for news, zerohedge.com. One of the big search trends on Google Trends, what's the search that's trending, is people are looking for pawn shops near me, pawn shops. And it's been escalating, that search, throughout the year, but it really started spiking kind of in July. And I guess, again, it's that psychological thing of, oh my gosh, we're kind of in the middle of summer, okay, the kids are going to go back to school in August. Okay, things are going to heat up. I mean, it's going to start getting cold at some point. The seasons are going to change. Do I have everything I need? Am I going to have enough money? And I don't know, it's just certain times of the year the mind starts clicking and thinking ahead and thinking about things. And so it seems to be happening with pawn shop searches. What's that tell you? Tells you that people might be getting a little desperate, that they might be needing to raise some cash. And you see credit card debt, all-time highs. Nobody talks about inflation anymore, but we obviously know that everything we buy costs more, or you get less for the same price or more. Go get a bag of chips, go get soda. I mean, I don't buy that, but I mean, look at cost of soda. And I mean, even beer has gone up. Everything's gone up. And so there's not much you can really do about that, unless you can get it at a good price ahead of time and stock up. But I mean, that only lasts so long. So yeah, the search for pawn shops, that's kind of a key indicator, I think. People are looking to, because what do? You sell stuff at a pawn shop for cash. People need cash. They're cash strapped. You look at what we went through with the whole COVID thing and how that really disrupted markets. Because remember back, I mean, it seems like ancient history already. Back at the end of 2019, the beginning of 2020, it started happening. Really, March 2020 is when it started rolling out and everything changed. Because at that point, lifestyles were kind of flipped. Everybody's working at home, that could work at home. Okay, now we're working at home. We can't go anywhere. We can't go to restaurants. Everybody's baking bread and cooking things. And next thing you know, there's a boom in pools. Everybody's putting pools in. I mean, I realized that a year later when I talked to my concrete guy. I needed him. He's like, man, that's all I do is put pools in. I just put the concrete around the pools. That's all I do anymore. Because everybody wanted to have a pool at home because they couldn't go anywhere. So they're bringing everything Thursday this week, where the world's seriously speeding up. Yeah, I believe, it is speeding up, Middle Journey. I mean, we're in the quickening. Remember, Art Bell he had that book that he wrote back 20 years ago. I don't know, was it with Whitley Strieber, the alien abduction contact guy? But he had this book called The Quickening, and it was like this, okay, we go through history, and we're kind of going through history slowly, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's like a pregnancy. Not that I would know, but watch my wife give birth twice. So you're pregnant. It seems like, oh my gosh, when's it going to end? When's it going to begin? Then all of a sudden, it's like, oh my gosh, it's going to happen. And then when it gets closer, it's just like all at once, here we go, everything quickens, and I think that's kind of how things are. That's how markets go. We think everything's fine. Okay, there's a birth pang there. Okay, there's a little kick there. And then we're okay. We're at a stable point. And then when it comes, it comes. And that's kind of how markets are. And that's why I would fully expect something to happen in September, October. Could be wrong, but that could be our birthing pang. The quickening is here. We'll see. Because, it's slowly, then all of a sudden, that's when things tend to happen. You just have those key moments when events occur and it changes everything. And a lot of it's engineered. I mean, really the whole system's engineered because they engineer the money, but, you just got to be aware of it and understand that that's kind of how it is and prepare for it accordingly. That's what I talk about. So, lost my train of thought. It went down the tunnel, and now I don't even see the light at the end of the tunnel. Maybe it'll turn around and there'll be a train coming at me rather than any sunlight. Yeah, that's the whole thing with what I was talking about with the COVID. Yeah, that's it. Everybody's putting in pools. Okay, now it's like, okay, do we really need a pool? All the pools are open. The pool's up to, and so you spend all this money on a pool. A lot of people spent money on RVs. They're like, well, shoot, I mean, let's get an RV, then we can go where we want. We can take our home with us. And, the hotels are kind of shut down, shuttered, not many rooms because they, they're not open, this and that during COVID. So a lot of people kind of brought it all home. I did that. I put a pavilion out there. Watch the dog. Take the dog for a walk, brother. I mean, that's what you do. I mean, that's when it comes down to it. Don't watch me. If you got an opportunity to go out and spend time with the dogs, that's about as close to heaven as you can get, in my opinion. So yeah, walk the dog. It's awesome. Somebody made a comment like that. That's why I say that in the chat. Spend time with the dogs. So, people are buying RVs. So I fully expect to see that trend reverse. That RVs are going to get a lot cheaper because everybody thought, oh, I need an RV. Well, now everybody's cash strapped. We don't have the booming economy, this Bidenomics that we've heard about. I mean, all the jobs that have been created are just the jobs that were lost during COVID. And so you can, you can burn down, an entire village and say, look at the construction boom I'm responsible for, after it's all burned down. I mean, look at all the houses that I'm creating, and building. I mean, it's the same kind of thing. So you're starting from zero. So, any job that's recreated, that was already created, you can take credit for, which is complete bogus nonsense, because we've seen that. And a lot of those jobs, it's because somebody's working 2 to 3 jobs. So you can say, oh, I created 13 million jobs. And then, it's only 5 million people are working them though. It's not like they're the good paying union jobs like you propose to protect. And meanwhile, you've got unions going on strike. UPS, the Teamsters, what do they have, like 340,000 people driving UPS trucks that at the end of this month, if they don't get a contract, they've authorized a strike. So those good paying jobs, it's not paying enough. And so they're trying to catch up because inflation's out of control. And they see the cost of everything going up. Think of house insurance. I mean, all these things nobody talks about. It's not just the grocery store. If you're living in Florida, what's your homeowner's insurance gone to? Or any of these flood zones, where hurricanes hit, what's your insurance? Will they even insure you? There are companies that say, hey, we're not taking on any new policies in these areas. And the people who have policies, I mean, they've doubled, tripled, it's just been ridiculous. So that's something nobody talks about. That's an expense. So that eats into your good paying wages. And so that's why they're striking. And that's why people are working 2 to 3 jobs, because they need to make the money up somewhere. I mean, it's not that things are going gangbusters and going great. They're not. And they won't be until you have a productive economy to where you produce things. And that's one of the reasons why Yellen's over in China. China just the other day said, hey, there's 2 rare earth metals we're not going to export anymore. I don't remember the names of them, germanium and something else. But so it's, wait a minute, you can't do that. You have to supply this stuff to the market. We need this stuff. And China's like, well, we'll do it if we want to. You mess with us, you mess with the BRICS nations and try and force us into this dollar path and keep us on it, then, hey, we're going to do our own thing. And so, this dopey dwarf flies over there and who knows what's going to come of it. Probably nothing. But that's the kind of situation you're in. That's why I get that 2008 vibe going on. That things are kind of falling apart. They know they're falling apart. And there's no way to fix it. And so they're going to try and manipulate their way through it again. And who suffers? We suffer. We all suffer. Anybody that has to buy things, that you need on a weekly basis, daily basis, your wages aren't going up to keep up with it. And so you're just in a pinch. And what recourse do you have? When you try voting these people in, they do the same thing. I don't even know what, I've said it before. You go to an ATM, and the ATM always gives you the right amount of money back, right? Well, as soon as they need to count the votes, stop working. Something to think about. I think it's a lot of the same people make both machines, though. Who benefits? That's what you look at. Who benefits? So, anyway, it's a rigged game. It's a rigged casino. It's a vampire casino. I've said that. What else is in the news? Hey, the Rand's in here. Daddy O's in here. I'm just catching it as it flies by. I'm not watching the live chat. Silver's down a little bit. Speaking of the Rand, hey, there's some not bad. The deals aren't that bad right now on some of the spot prices. I just looked today, and I like to look at those coins that don't have that big markup on the premium. The Silver Eagles, they said as low as $13.99. This is JM Bullion. $13.99 over spot. And I'm thinking, kidding me? 14 bucks? Premium on top of 22 for a Silver Eagle? I mean, come on. Give me a break. But then you can go look at like the Austrian Philharmonics, which is a government issued coin. The Maple Leafs out of Canada, another government issued coin. I just don't like getting those so much because they've got the Monarch on the reverse, which, I mean, give me a break. But yeah, the Philharmonics are usually kind of the best deal that I've found as far as a sovereign coin, you know, or government issued coin, silver coin. The premium's pretty low. I saw the Litecoin. They got the Litecoin rounds out there, which is not a government issued coin, but it's 1 ounce of silver. That was like one of the lowest premiums. So, I mean, that'd be something to look into. Hand those out to people and say, hey, look, you know, what's with a seed card, that kind of thing. So yeah, silver to me is just a tremendously underrated asset at this point with these prices. Kind of silly, really. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens when you know, if things do fall apart. Because if it truly is a 2008 scenario, you saw gold and silver plummet along with the rest of the market. Stocks, everything dove. But then those came right back up, the precious metals. And the thing is, the premiums went absolutely stupid on it. I don't remember what silver went down to in 2008. Look around September, if you look at a chart, September, October. I mean, I'm pretty sure it got close to 10 bucks an ounce. Maybe it was 14 an ounce. But the premium on it was 50%, you know. You're still not paying under $20 an ounce of silver, even though the spot price says that it's like half that. So it comes down to, you know, they can put whatever the price they want on it, but can you get it for that price? You know, with somebody willing to sell it for that price for real? You know, just because it's on a screen doesn't mean that's a legit price. It's just like, you know, okay, my DigiByte, all right? You know, you can look at the blue book and you can say, well, this is what it says. You know, it's a 2004 vehicle and I'll give you this for it. It's like, no, you won't, because I won't take that for it, because it just has too much value to me for its use case. I can't replace it, so I'm not selling it. So that is what it is. You know, you might think that's what it is, but until I'm willing to sell it, and I'm doing searches on pawn shops, and I need the cash, you know, that it's not going to be that price. So if you've got the asset, that's the key. If you've got the asset, you can kind of name your price when things fall apart. Doesn't matter what the stated price is. If somebody's in a panic when the dollar's crashing and they're like, oh my God, you know, I don't know if this dollar is going to be worth anything at this point. I have no faith in the government. And that's really all this dollar, this Federal Reserve note's based on, is kind of the full faith and credit of the government. Well, if you have no full faith and credit in the government anymore, how much is that dollar worth, that Federal Reserve note at that point? You might want to dump it for something that you really need. That's what you should be doing now, getting the things you need while they still work. But let's say it gets to that point. Hey, I need to get something that, you know, the CBDCs are rolling out. Now they're going to, you know, force everybody to turn their dollars in for CBDCs, and now they're going to completely control the monetary system. What do I do? You know, it's all digital. Well, you know, I need real digital assets. How do I get Bitcoin? You know, Bitcoin's only 30,000. You know, I'm going to take my retirement and buy one Bitcoin. No, you're not, because I'm not going to sell it to you, and the exchanges are shut down. Or at least they have limits on it. It's 100,000 a Bitcoin if you want it, you know, and that's the kind of situation you get into. Same with silver, you know, same with gasoline. You know, it's like, how bad do you need it? Water in the desert, how bad do you need it? And, you know, and somebody's going to say that 10 bucks, this bottle of water. You need it, right? So the free market kicks in, and that's the thing. Right now we don't have a free market. We've got a rigged market, and it's, you know, it's artificial. It's all vampire digital casino chips. So when that real market hits, you want to have a real asset. Now it may be at the real higher echelons, you know, it may hold some value, but ultimately what can you use it for? It's firewood, you know, to keep warm at the end of the day. I mean, yeah, it's a beautiful thing and it evokes, you know, emotions, but you know, those things don't matter in the hierarchy of needs when you need shelter and you need warmth. Just like the stack of dollar bills, if it can't buy you heat, I mean, you're gonna burn it for heat. You know, if you can't buy food with it or anything. So it comes down to the real use case of these assets. What can you really do with it? They're flying over, man. I don't know what kind of plane that is. They fly those National Guards fairly near here, and they'll fly over occasionally. It does come down to real assets. What's real and what's useful? What do people, what can they hold? Solar flare just hit your feed was a pause. Probably. Never know. monkeying with the electronics again. Speaking of feeds, speaking of putting messages out on video tonight, actually not that far away now. It's 1:30 here, so at 5 o'clock my time, Central Time, 3.5 hours from now, I will be live on Blind Dave's channel. I put a description in the description on this video. I put a link to his YouTube channel. Go after this video, go click on that, subscribe to Dave's channel, put that notification bell on. Every Thursday he wants to start doing kind of a roundtable discussion, just different perspectives on crypto, where we're at, different blockchains. It's not exclusive to Litecoin, Bitcoin, DigiByte, but mostly Litecoin, DigiByte people in there, but other blockchains too. I mean, it's just basically having a discussion. How do we free ourselves? And what are some of the best ways, and what's the truth? A search for the truth. That's really what it is. And we bring our different perspectives to it. So from 5 to 7 p.m. Central Time, go check it out. And so that should be, if it goes well, a weekly thing. So now I'm obligated 2 days a week. I'm going to be doing this thing, and then if he wants me to continue, who knows? Maybe I'll upset the apple cart. No, I won't. I'll put my glasses on so I look more intelligent, like I know what I'm talking about. But we'll be doing that 5 to 7 on Thursdays Central Time, and then of course happy hour 4 p.m. Central Time every Friday, to where I can unwind and have some drinks in the bar and have a good time. And I love it when you guys chime in and have the discussions and in the chat. So that's pretty cool stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Just a few thoughts. I don't know if there's anything else. Just pay attention. I mean, things are unfolding. I think there's power plays going on right now. It's not what it seems. There are not, it's not just this, it's going to be Trump versus Biden. Well, they obviously don't want Trump to run, but I mean, with his polling numbers, nobody is competing with him. I mean, they're not even close. DeSantis, I mean, for everything that he's done for Florida, isn't holding the water to Trump on the national stage. And I think that continues. I don't know that there's anything that can do short of getting Trump thrown into prison or, icing him, that's going to stop him from he's just too big of a, I don't know, he just sucks up all the energy. So I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, it's a problem for them. But you've got that going on, and then on the other side, I just don't see Biden continuing. I just don't see it. I don't think his own party wants him, and they're going to go ahead and they're going to figure another path out, I think. I don't think you're going to see 4 more years of Joe. Just too much going on right now. It'll all fall apart quickly, I think. So anyway, is what it is. We'll find out. Hard to say. The crypto market, there are some deals out there. Some things are on sale. Take a look at it. If you're thinking about buying, something like Litecoin, it's under $100 again. I looked at it today. It was like $97.50. You could buy it. And so $98. I mean, if you're watching it go up to $115 saying, oh, I missed my chance. Well, it's $20 cheaper now. So now's the time you don't want to buy it, though, because, oh my gosh, it's going to go down lower, which it could. But it's that mentality of, oh my gosh, I really want to buy it when it's going up. That's like all cryptos, not just Litecoin. And then, when it gets discounted, oh, it's going to go lower. I don't want to miss the bottom. Well, you're not going to catch the bottom. Either believe in something or you don't believe in it, and you put your energy into it now, or eventually you're going to have to put your energy into it later. So just do it at your own pace. Don't be swayed by these markets that are all emotional. Get the things you need, get them in your possession, so you can sleep at night. All right? Okay. Well, I hope you have a wonderful day, wonderful Thursday. Come check us out. Like I said, the link below to Blind Dave's channel, his YouTube channel. Go follow it and put that notification bell on today at 5 p.m. Central Time. We'll be having a discussion on that, so it should be fun. I don't even know what to expect. Just going to wing it like I always do. All right. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for chiming in. Trust yourselves, and hopefully I'll see you again this evening. All right. Love you all.